Trucks are more than just machines. They're pieces of history. Some were born out of innovation, others out of necessity. But every truck on this list has a story you won't believe. From rare collector's items to bold designs that broke all the rules, these vehicles redefined what a truck could be. Today, we're diving into the stories behind some of the most fascinating and unique trucks ever made. So buckle up. You're about to see pickups like you've never seen them before. If you love stories like these that bring forgotten automotive legends back to life, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us, because together, we're keeping these incredible tales alive. Imagine a truck so unique that it was built from the scraps of history, not designed by automotive giants, but by two ingenious brothers who dared to dream differently. The Powell Sport Wagon pickup is just one example of these unconventional creations, a hand-assembled masterpiece from 1955 to 1957, born from World War II's aftermath and California junkyards. Don't be fooled by its humble origins. This truck packed practicality, innovation, and a dash of rebellion. And here's the kicker. It was sold as brand new even though every part had a story to tell. The Powell brothers, Hayward and Channing, weren't your average car makers. Far from the polished boardrooms of Detroit, they started with something far simpler: motor scooters. After World War II, they saw a booming America where people craved affordable, practical vehicles. But instead of competing with big names like Ford or Chevrolet, the Powells did something unheard of. They turned to junkyards in Southern California for inspiration. Yes, junkyards. They scavenged discarded 1940 to 1941 Plymouths, hunting for hidden treasures among the rust. Engines, chassis, transmissions, whatever they could salvage and rebuild, they did. And then, in their factory in Compton, California, they breathed new life into these parts, crafting them into trucks like no one had seen before. But this wasn't just some Frankenstein creation. Every part was carefully chosen and sent to specialized shops for restoration before making its way to the Powell assembly line. The brothers didn't stop at just using recycled parts. They redefined how trucks were made. At the heart of their operation was their innovative design, a combination of stamped steel and fiberglass. The front end, made of fiberglass, wasn't just a quirky detail. It was a cost-saving genius move. Local boatyards even pitched in, helping to shape these unique truck faces. Every Powell pickup was built by hand, a labor of love and precision. The result? A truck that was simple, rugged, and most importantly, affordable. At just $1,095, it was far cheaper than anything else on the market. The secret to its low price? Smart engineering and practicality. Instead of curved body panels that required expensive machinery, they used flat ones, cutting production costs while keeping the design functional. Inside, the simplicity continued. Vinyl-covered foam seats replaced fancy springs. Sliding windows took the place of the usual roll-down ones. Even the dashboard only had the basics, essential gauges and controls, no unnecessary frills. But the truck wasn't without its cool features. The tubular storage compartment, built right into the truck bed, was a stroke of brilliance. Like a hidden drawer, it could hold fishing rods or other long items, making it a hit with outdoor enthusiasts. Under the hood, the Powell pickup featured inline-six engines from those same salvaged Plymouths. These engines were no strangers to hard work, known for their toughness and reliability. Before installation, they were rebuilt to ensure they ran like new. The suspension also came from Plymouths, giving the Powell pickup the comfort of a car with the strength of a truck, a rare combination that appealed to everyday drivers and small business owners alike. Let's dive into the fascinating story of the Ford Durango, a rare gem built between 1979 and 1982. This car pickup hybrid had an unusual origin, born out of Ford's need to replace the Ranchero, a fan-favorite vehicle that combined the comfort of a car with the utility of a truck. When Ford discontinued the Ranchero in 1979, they turned to an innovative idea: transform the Ford Fairmont Futura into a modern car pickup combo. The Fairmont Futura, introduced in 1978, was built on Ford's versatile Fox body platform, the same platform used for iconic cars like the Mustang. It was lightweight, durable, and adaptable, making it a perfect candidate for this experiment. Ford designer Dick Nesbitt spearheaded the concept, envisioning a practical yet stylish car pickup hybrid. The idea was solid, but Ford wasn't fully convinced the project would be worth the investment. Instead of developing the vehicle in-house, they partnered with National Coach Products in Gardena, California, to make it a reality. National Coach Products took on the challenge of turning the Fairmont Futura coupe into the Ford Durango. The modifications were substantial, but smart. They removed the rear of the car and replaced it with a fiberglass pickup bed, adding a custom fiberglass tailgate with integrated taillights. To ensure visibility even when the tailgate was open, they came up with a clever lighting design. They also installed a new rear window to blend seamlessly with the truck bed. These changes transformed the car into a pickup without completely reinventing its design, keeping costs manageable. Despite its unique appeal, the Durango faced delays right from the start. The project began in 1979, but production didn't ramp up until 1981 due to unforeseen challenges. Jim Stevenson, a key figure in the project, known for his expertise in bodywork and painting, fell ill with kidney problems, halting progress for nearly 2 years. By the time production resumed, public interest in car pickup hybrids had waned, leaving the Durango with a limited audience. In the end, National Coach Products managed to produce only a small number of Durangos. Estimates suggest somewhere between 120 and 200 units were made, though the exact number remains uncertain. A few Ford dealerships sold them, but without any significant advertising, the Durango largely flew under the radar. This lack of exposure, combined with its low production numbers, has made the Durango one of the rarest vehicles in Ford's history. Let's talk about what was under the hood of the Ford Durango, because this car pickup hybrid wasn't just about looks. Ford gave buyers a range of engine options straight from the Fairmont Futura. You had the 2.3-liter four-cylinder, a 3.3-liter six-cylinder, and the beefy 4.2-liter V8. If you went with the four-cylinder, you could choose between a 4-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic transmission. But with the 6-cylinder and V8, you were locked into the automatic. Most Durangos ended up with the 6-cylinder engine. Why? It hit the sweet spot between power and fuel efficiency. The V8 brought extra muscle, but it came with a higher price tag and a bigger appetite for gas, something that didn't sit well with everyone in the early 80s. Still, for those who wanted a bit more roar under the hood, the V8 was the way to go. What really made the Durango interesting, though, were the extra features. Imagine driving a pickup with a fiberglass bed cover, adjustable air shocks for smoother rides when carrying heavy loads, and custom wheels that gave it a distinctive edge. It even had hidden storage under the bed, perfect for tools, gear, or anything you didn't want rolling around in the cargo area. And get this, you could also add a pop-up sunroof, cargo rails, and tie-downs to secure your stuff. For a quirky little truck, it packed some serious versatility. Now, here's where the story gets a little tricky. The Durango had a big competitor, the Chevrolet El Camino. Starting at $6,988, the El Camino was cheaper, while converting a Fairmont Futura into a Durango added about $2,000 to the price. That higher cost made the Durango a tough sell, especially when budgets were tight and people could get a similar vehicle for less. Fast forward to today, though, and the Durango has a devoted fan base. Some of the ones still on the road have been given a serious glow-up by enthusiasts. Thanks to its shared Fox body platform with the Ford Mustang, it's not uncommon to see Durangos outfitted with the Mustang's iconic 5.0-liter V8 engine. plus wheels and tires to match. These mods have turned the Durango into a cool, one-of-a-kind ride that car fans can't get enough of. The Ford Durango may not have been a hit when it was new, but now it's a rare treasure that tells the story of a time when automakers weren't afraid to experiment. Part car, part truck, and all attitude. It's a piece of automotive history that still manages to stand out. The Studebaker Transtar, an underappreciated yet important piece of American truck history. Built from 1956 to 1964, this rugged workhorse was Studebaker's attempt to stay competitive in a rapidly evolving market. While the company was struggling to keep up with bigger automakers, the Transtar proved they weren't going down without a fight. These trucks were part of Studebaker's E-Series and were designed to be both tough and stylish, something rare for pickups at the time. They wanted a truck that wasn't just for work, but looked good enough for everyday driving. And in 1956, the Transtar hit the streets, replacing the outdated M-Series that had been around since World War II. One of the best things about the Transtar? You could get it in multiple sizes. Whether you needed a half-ton, three-quarter-ton, or a full one-ton model, there was a version for every job. It also came in different body types: standard pickup, chassis cab, or stake bed, making it a versatile choice for businesses and farmers alike. But Studebaker didn't stop at just giving the truck a facelift. They redesigned the cab, borrowing from their previous C-Series models, but giving it a fresh, modern front end. And in 1956, they introduced a fiberglass grille, lighter than metal and rust-proof, making it ahead of its time. Under the hood, the Transtar packed a punch. Most models came with a reliable 245 cubic inch inline-six engine producing 101 horsepower. But for those who wanted more power, Studebaker offered a 259 cubic inch V8, pushing out 170 horsepower. That V8 option was a game changer, giving the truck more speed and towing power. Transmission choices were simple. A 3-speed manual came standard, but a 4-speed manual was available for those who wanted more control. And Studebaker didn't skimp on comfort either. The front suspension used independent coil springs, making the ride much smoother than most trucks that still relied on stiff leaf springs. The rear kept the traditional leaf springs for hauling heavy loads, striking a balance between comfort and capability. Inside, the Transtar was pretty basic by today's standards, but for its time, it was a comfortable and practical truck. It was built to get the job done without unnecessary frills, a bench seat big enough for 3 people, a simple yet functional dashboard, and a massive windshield for clear visibility, all designed to make driving easy, even when carrying heavy loads. Customization was key with the Transtar. Buyers could add a heater for those freezing winter mornings, a radio for long drives, or even a spotlight for extra visibility at night. Studebaker knew that a truck had to be more than just tough. It had to fit the needs of its driver. But what really made the Transtar stand out was its bold design. That fiberglass grille? Not just for looks, it was lightweight, rust-proof, and gave the truck a modern, streamlined appearance. Big round headlights built into the fenders added to its unique styling, making it one of the most eye-catching trucks of its time. The bed of the Transtar came in different lengths, depending on the model, all made of solid steel with a flat floor for easy loading. Tall sidewalls kept cargo secure, while built-in hooks allowed for tie-downs, making this truck as practical as it was stylish. In 1957, Studebaker introduced a stripped-down version of the Transtar, the Scotsman, designed to be an affordable, no-frills work truck. With a simpler steel grille, less chrome trim, and fewer color options, black, white, and blue, the Scotsman was built to be as budget-friendly as possible. It shared the same engine options as the Transtar, but most buyers opted for the smaller inline-six to save money. The Scotsman became popular, especially in rural areas, where buyers needed a reliable truck without the extra bells and whistles. But while it helped Studebaker stay in the game, It also highlighted a harsh reality. The company was struggling to compete with giants like Ford and Chevrolet, who could build trucks cheaper and in greater numbers. The Scotsman was a smart move for survival, but it wasn't enough to turn things around. Now let's turn our attention to the Hudson Big Boy C28, a true gem from 1947 that perfectly blends style, strength, and a fascinating backstory. Hudson Motor Car Company wasn't content to simply make trucks that were workhorses. They wanted their vehicles to make a statement. The Big Boy series was designed as a hybrid of a passenger car's elegance and a pickup truck's rugged utility, a bold concept for its time. Hudson first introduced the Big Boy in 1939, aiming at small business owners, farmers, and anyone who needed a truck that could haul heavy loads during the week and still impress during a weekend family outing. The early Big Boy trucks borrowed heavily from Hudson's passenger cars, boasting sleek, flowing lines, chrome grills, and a style unmatched by most trucks of the era. By 1947, the C28 had evolved, keeping its pre-war aesthetic, but with modern updates to meet post-war demands. The truck featured a steel body on a sturdy frame and a cargo bed that was both spacious and durable. One of the reasons the Big Boy stood out was its versatility. It could tackle a range of jobs, from hauling goods to carrying the family on weekend drives. This dual-purpose appeal made it a hit with small business owners, but Hudson didn't produce these trucks in large numbers, making them rare and highly sought after by collectors today. Under the hood, the Big Boy C28 packed a reliable 262 cubic inch flathead six-cylinder engine. This powerhouse churned out 102 horsepower, plenty of muscle to handle fully loaded hauls. The engine was paired with a 3-speed manual transmission, featuring a column shifter, a unique touch at the time, as most trucks had floor shifters. This design made driving more convenient, especially in tight spaces. Hudson's innovative engineering didn't stop there. The Big Boy's independent front suspension, called auto poise, borrowed from their passenger cars, offered a smoother and more comfortable ride than the standard solid axle setups found in most trucks. Meanwhile, the rear suspension used sturdy leaf springs to handle heavy loads without compromising reliability. The cargo bed was another standout feature, offering 48 square feet of space, larger than most competitors' trucks. Constructed from durable steel, it could carry significant weight, making it ideal for farmers, construction workers, and professionals needing a reliable work vehicle. Hudson designed the Big Boy C28 to be more than just a tough truck. They understood that buyers wanted versatility and comfort, so they included practical features like a spacious cabin and a smoother ride. This blend of functionality and style made the Big Boy a standout in its time and a prized collectible today. Inside the cab, the Hudson Big Boy C28 delivered unexpected luxuries for its time. A standout feature was the Weathermaster heater, a game-changer for cold mornings and winter drives, ensuring year-round comfort. Adding to its charm was a 30-hour dashboard clock, perfect for long trips or keeping on schedule during workdays. But what really turned heads was the Zenith radio, equipped with foot-operated controls. This clever design let drivers tune in or adjust the volume while keeping their hands firmly on the wheel, a thoughtful touch that blended convenience and safety. Even the finer details showed Hudson's commitment to combining practicality with class. The steering wheel featured a chrome horn ring, adding a touch of elegance, while the seats, covered in durable fabric, were adjustable to ensure a comfortable ride, no matter how long the journey. Storage space in the cab was plentiful, making it easy for drivers to keep tools or essentials within reach. Built during the post-World War II era, when material shortages challenged automakers, Hudson prioritized quality over quantity. Only a small number of Big Boy trucks were produced in 1946 and 1947, with just 3% of Hudson's total output being trucks. This rarity is part of what makes the C28 so valuable to collectors today. For vintage truck enthusiasts, the Hudson Big Boy C28 is a masterpiece. Its stylish design, advanced engineering, and scarcity have cemented its place in automotive history. Fully restored models are highly sought after, fetching impressive prices at auctions and sparking nostalgia for a time when trucks weren't just tools. They were works of art. What if I told you Volkswagen once built a pickup truck? Not a rugged workhorse for construction sites, but a compact, quirky vehicle that could handle everyday tasks while sipping fuel. Enter the Volkswagen Rabbit Pickup, a product of the late 1970s, a time when rising gas prices and economic uncertainty forced automakers to think outside the box. This wasn't just a truck. It was a solution to a problem, blending practicality, efficiency, and a dash of Volkswagen's unique charm. Built at Volkswagen's Pennsylvania factory, a converted Chrysler plant, the Rabbit Pickup wasn't a typical truck in any sense. Instead of the usual body-on-frame construction, it featured a unibody design borrowed from the VW Rabbit, known as the Golf Mark I in Europe. This innovative setup gave the pickup excellent handling and stability, even when carrying heavy loads, and made it a dream to drive in bad weather. The Rabbit Pickup may have been small, but it didn't hold back on utility. Its 5-foot-wide cargo bed could haul up to 1,100 pounds, making it perfect for light-duty work. Under the hood, buyers could choose between two engines, a 1.6-liter diesel that produced 52 horsepower, or a 1.7-liter gasoline engine with 78 horsepower. The diesel option came with a 5-speed manual transmission, while the gas model featured a 4-speed, catering to drivers who wanted efficiency without sacrificing practicality. Volkswagen kept the design simple and sturdy, making the Rabbit Pickup reliable and easy to maintain. It wasn't flashy, but it was efficient, nimble, and capable. Its compact size made it perfect for urban environments, while the cargo bed provided enough space for everything from groceries to light construction supplies. Despite all its strengths, the Rabbit Pickup didn't achieve massive commercial success. It was discontinued a few years after its launch, partly due to a lack of awareness. Volkswagen didn't push hard to market it, but what it lacked in sales, it made up for in character. Over the years, it gained a cult following among enthusiasts who appreciated its unique blend of style and practicality. Back in 1992, GMC had already made waves with the GMC Syclone, a turbocharged pickup that redefined what a truck could do. But there was one problem. It came with a jaw-dropping price tag of $27,465. Enter the Sonoma GT, designed to bring high-performance fun to a more affordable level. Starting at $16,779, it delivered plenty of thrills without emptying your wallet. Under the hood, the Sonoma GT packed a 4.3-liter V6 engine, cranking out an impressive 195 horsepower at 4,500 RPM and 260 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPM. While it wasn't turbocharged like the Syclone, it had plenty of muscle to hold its own on the road. But this truck wasn't just about power. It came with serious performance upgrades. GMC gave it recalibrated Bilstein shocks, a torsion bar setup with dual-stage leaf springs and power brakes, ensuring it handled like a dream. Wrapping it all together were BF Goodrich Comp TA tires that provided incredible grip, keeping the Sonoma GT glued to the pavement even during spirited driving. And let's not forget its head-turning looks. Inspired by its pricier sibling, the Sonoma GT sported Syclone-inspired cladding, including bold front and rear bumpers. Inside, it was equally sporty, with bucket seats, black and red piping, and door inserts that added a touch of performance flair. Now here's the kicker. GMC only produced 86 Sonoma GTs in 1992. That's right, just 86 units. This makes it not only the rarest model in GMC's sport truck lineup, but also a true collector's item. It came in a range of colors, from sleek monochromatic black to bold shades like apple red, aspen blue, teal, and forest green. Today, the 1992 GMC Sonoma GT is a beloved relic of a bygone era. Its combination of affordability, performance, and rarity has cemented its place as a must-have for enthusiasts who appreciate a truck that dared to do things differently. Next up in our journey through unique trucks is the Studebaker Champ, a fascinating chapter in automotive history and the final attempt by Studebaker to stay in the truck-making game. Built from 1960 to 1964, this light-duty pickup tells the story of a company fighting against the odds during a time of massive changes in the auto industry. By the late 1950s, Studebaker was struggling. Their earlier trucks, once popular since 1949, had become outdated and couldn't keep up with giants like Ford, GM, and Chrysler. Desperate for a fresh, modern truck but strapped for cash, Studebaker needed a solution. Fast. Unlike the big automakers, they didn't have the budget to design something completely new, so they had to get creative. And creative they were. In 1959, Studebaker launched the Lark, a compact car that turned out to be an unexpected success. The secret? Cleverly reusing parts from older models to save costs. This thrifty approach became the foundation for their new truck, the Studebaker Champ. With tight resources, lead designer Duncan McRae had to think outside the box. His solution? Start with the Lark's frame and front-end design and build from there. This not only saved money, but also gave the Champ a fresh, modern look that still managed to stand out. To transform the Lark into a pickup, several modifications were made. The truck's height was increased, leading to the addition of larger bumpers that were repositioned to match its taller stance. The open back of the Lark's cab was enclosed, and they introduced a sliding rear window, a unique feature at the time that eventually became standard in pickups. The cab was then fitted onto the existing E-Series truck frame, resulting in a functional yet slightly mismatched design. This mix of old and new worked, but the Champ's cobbled-together appearance became a visual reminder of Studebaker's financial struggles. When it came to performance, the Studebaker Champ offered a range of engines to cater to different buyers. For those seeking a basic workhorse, the 170 cubic inch flathead straight-six engine provided 90 horsepower. Though this engine was an updated version of an older design, it was reliable and cost-effective, perfect for light-duty work, but underpowered for heavy jobs or towing. To cater to buyers who needed more power, Studebaker offered a larger 245 cubic inch straight-six engine for the Champ. This engine delivered 118 horsepower, giving it a noticeable boost over the smaller six-cylinder option. But this engine was short-lived, only available for the first year. Why? It seems truck buyers were leaning toward V8 engines, which were quickly becoming the standard for those wanting performance and versatility. Recognizing the shift in demand, Studebaker introduced two V8 options for the Champ. The first was a 259 cubic inch V8 that produced 180 horsepower. It was a significant upgrade over the six-cylinder options and made the Champ more competitive in a market where V8-powered trucks were dominating. For those who needed even more muscle, there was the 289 cubic inch V8, which could be configured with either a two-barrel carburetor for 210 horsepower or a four-barrel setup for 225 horsepower. This engine was the powerhouse of the Champ lineup, aimed squarely at buyers who needed to haul heavier loads or take on tougher jobs. The Champ also offered a variety of transmission choices to suit different preferences. A 3-speed manual was standard on most models, but buyers could upgrade to a 4-speed manual for more versatility, especially when paired with the V8 engines. And for those seeking convenience, there was the Flight-O-Matic Borg-Warner automatic transmission, though this option was only available with the V8 engines, However, even with these engine and transmission options, the Champ couldn't entirely shake its reliance on outdated mechanical designs. It still used leaf springs for both front and rear suspension, a system that was increasingly seen as old-fashioned compared to the more advanced setups being adopted by competitors. Similarly, while the flathead straight-six engines were reliable, they lacked the power and efficiency of the newer overhead valve engines that were becoming the industry standard. The Champ's blend of old and new technologies created a truck that could meet a range of needs, but struggled to stand out in a rapidly evolving market. This challenge was reflected in its modest sales, as buyers increasingly gravitated toward more modern and advanced options. When the Champ debuted in 1960, it featured a unique pontoon-style bed with curved, rounded edges that gave the truck a distinct look. While visually interesting, the design wasn't very practical, offering less cargo space than the squared-off beds becoming popular at the time. Recognizing this limitation, Studebaker made a bold move in 1961 by introducing the space-side bed, a much more practical design that maximized cargo capacity. Here's where things get interesting. Instead of designing a new bed from scratch, Studebaker purchased the tooling for this bed from Dodge. Originally used on Dodge's 1958 to 1960 swept-line trucks, the bed provided more space and a more modern appearance. But there was a catch. The bed wasn't an exact fit for the Champ's cab, creating a slight mismatch in width. This quirk became a hallmark of the Champ's resourceful, yet constrained design process. The mismatch between the cab and the new space-side bed gave the Studebaker Champ a slightly disjointed look. However, the new bed was a practical improvement, offering two lengths, 6.5 feet and 8 feet, making it versatile for various tasks. This compromise allowed Studebaker to remain competitive without designing a completely new bed. Inside, the Champ borrowed heavily from the Studebaker Lark, resulting in a car-like interior unusual for trucks at the time. It featured a padded dashboard and an optional AM radio, though some outdated elements like floor-mounted pedals remained. One standout feature was its sliding rear window, offering better airflow and a touch of innovation that later became standard in pickups. In its debut year, the Champ sold about 5,000 units, a respectable number given Studebaker's limited resources. Sales remained steady in 1961, but the introduction of the practical space-side bed helped boost sales to 7,325 units in 1962. Despite this improvement, these numbers were dwarfed by the big three automakers who produced trucks on a much larger scale. While the Champ showcased Studebaker's ingenuity, it struggled to compete in a rapidly advancing market. The 1979 GMC Sierra 1500, more than just a truck, it's a rolling piece of history. A true classic that still turns heads today, this pickup has earned its place among collectors and enthusiasts alike. But what makes it so special? Let's dive into the story behind this legendary ride. The '79 Sierra 1500 was part of GM's third-generation CK trucks, which ran from 1973 to 1991. Back then, GMC used the Sierra name to define trim levels like the Sierra Classic and Sierra Grande, while the letters C and K told you whether it had two-wheel or four-wheel drive, C for rear-wheel drive, K for four-wheel drive. Under the hood, this truck was no slouch. Powering the 1979 Sierra 1500 was a 350 cubic inch, 5.7-liter V8 engine, a lightweight powerhouse that packed 125 horsepower at 3,600 RPM. And torque? A solid 225 pound-feet at just 1,800 RPM, giving it the grunt needed for towing, hauling, or just laying down some rubber at a red light. General Motors built this engine to last. The block was tough cast iron, while the cylinder heads were made from lightweight aluminum alloys, a balance between durability and performance. And rather than relying on a traditional carburetor, This Sierra featured an indirect fuel injection system that made it more efficient and reliable. One of the standout features? Multiple wheelbase choices. You could go with the short wheelbase at 117.5 inches, the long wheelbase at 131.5 inches. Or if you really needed the extra space, there was even a super long wheelbase option, measuring a massive 164.5 inches, perfect for those who needed serious hauling capability. But GMC wasn't just focused on performance. They also gave the Sierra a fresh new look. The grille got a sleek redesign, with the parking lights now seamlessly integrated into the headlight assembly, creating a more modern and cohesive front-end appearance. And if you wanted to stand out even more, GMC introduced a new color option called Oyster, adding a classy alternative to the existing lineup. So, why was the Sierra such a hit? It was built for the hard-working American. Farmers, construction workers, and small business owners loved its durability and practicality. But it wasn't just a workhorse. Its square body design made it stylish enough for personal use, helping GMC tap into a growing market of buyers who wanted a truck that could do both work and play. Another big reason the 1979 Sierra stood out? It was one of the first trucks to offer a dedicated diesel engine, setting it apart from the competition. While Ford may have dominated the half-ton truck market at the time, GMC carved out its niche by focusing on reliability, power, and smart design choices. Fast forward to today, and the 1979 GMC Sierra Classic is a hot collector's item. Despite a base price of just $4,895 back in the day, its rarity has only made it more desirable. With only 1,430 units produced, finding one in good condition now is no easy task. Some trucks are built to last, but these? They were built to be remembered. Whether they were workhorses, innovators, or just plain different, each one left its mark in a way that still gets people talking. And that's what makes them legendary.